And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Go ahead and say it, Ed. Go Tigers!
When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
You like that? You like that?
F it. Jamar's down there somewhere.
The New Orleans Saints select Marcus Davenport.
No!
Splash Brothers? Yeah.
It's playoff. Keep going, Brace.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
What is up, guys? Dirty Boots Sports, and we are back with another episode. This is episode 223. I'm solo tonight, but I'm going out of town, so I just had to spur of the moment, get on the mic and record. I'm also kind of sick, so I'm self-conscious about my sound right now. I feel like I'm sick, but I don't know. Who cares? We're talking football. That's what we got to do. And I'm sitting in a hotel room in New Orleans, just living the dream, talking sports, preparing myself for this incredible weekend that we have coming up. I mean, unless you're living under a rock, you know what all is coming up this weekend. You've got LSU Ole Miss, you've got Oregon Penn State, you've got Alabama Georgia, you've got the Ryder Cup if you're a golf guy, you've got USC Illinois, Notre Dame, Arkansas, Ohio State, Washington, Auburn, A&M, Indiana, Iowa, Tennessee, Mississippi State, Arizona, Iowa State, Massachusetts, and Missouri, because why are they playing? I mean, it's an incredible list of games we've got this week. And also Friday night, you've got TCU at Arizona State. We're set up for a beautiful weekend of college football. And then it's all going to end on Monday with the best doubleheader of NFL games you could imagine, which is Dolphins-Jets and Broncos-Bengals, right? Yeah. The 0-3 Jets versus 0-3 Dolphins, and then the Joe Burrow-less Bengals versus Bo Nix, who is looking like the Bo Nix that everyone thought he was going to be. So that's going to be an incredible week. I mean, we're loaded with games. Packers-Cowboys Sunday night as well. Michael Parsons getting revenge on Dak. Ravens-Chiefs, 3 o'clock Sunday. Eagles-Bucks at 12 o'clock. The Saints is a 16.5-point dog to the Bills. I mean, this is you can't ask for a better weekend than what we got coming up. It's going to be incredible. And then, like I said, the Ryder Cup, which is something that personally I've never got to get into. Just now, the past couple years, I've been getting more into golf ever since doing this pod, really, with Peyton and Ty. But Peyton's really hyping it up. I think it's like the first time in New York since like the 30s or something, maybe. Like, it's something crazy. It seems like it's gonna be a cool experience, and I can't wait to watch all of the sports this week. But yeah, let's just get right into this. I'm going to try to keep this brief, but we know how that goes. So, first up, we got college football. The college football slate, like I said, I just went over most of it. Friday night, not much there. That Florida State-Virginia game could be something. It's at Virginia, not an easy place to really go into and win. But Florida State playing the way that they are, which they're up to number 8 in the country, which is insane to me. If you think about Florida State before that Alabama game to open the year, there were people like, oh, Bama's going to win this easily. Florida State sucks. We were thinking about last year, the DJ Uiagalelei team that went like 2-10 or whatever. You had no one in the world, I don't care who you are, maybe the biggest Florida State fans, expected Florida State to be 3-0 right now and sit at number 8 in the country. Nobody did. But that's where they are, and, if they get this win Friday, setting up a pretty epic game next week against Miami. That could be a very, very, very awesome game. So I think most people are rooting for Florida State just to build the drama a little bit more. You also have TCU, Arizona State, 8 o'clock Fox kickoff. Could be a very fun game. Arizona State, they did have the Mississippi State loss, but since then, still playing well. They got incredible quarterback in Sam Levitt. Jordan Tyson's a dog. They got my Army transfer running back, and they've also got another running back, I believe, transferred from USC. But that Arizona State team, very talented. TCU, Sonny Dykes still got the boys rolling, playing offense like they always do. I watched a good bit of that SMU game last week. Very, very fun. That's your classic Big 12 kind of late night game. There's going to be probably a lot of points. Over and under is actually only 55.5, which, yeah, only. But it's going to be a fun game. Definitely will be at Tempe. So I'm personally rooting for Arizona State to win this one. I have a couple futures on Arizona State actually to win, like, I think I have them at 8.5 wins, so they need to win 9 games. So that Mississippi State loss did hurt me, but that was also such an incredible loss that it didn't even bother me. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good game, and we'll really see, if TCU has that magic in them to make another big run. They're sitting at number 24 in the country right now, with, I'm sure, their schedule getting tough in the following weeks. Maybe not. Colorado, Kansas State, Baylor, West Virginia. I mean, you can win all of those. You avoid Utah. You avoid Texas Tech. You do have Iowa State later in the year, but I mean, TCU can easily win 9 games, maybe 10. That's crazy. Throwback to, 2022 with Max Duggan, when me, Peyton, and Chance would just always have to reference TCU's schedule because we could not believe that they were going to go undefeated and that they were just going to continue to win games. And then we just had to look up who they playing. Well, TCU's playing Arizona State this week, but give me the Sun Devils to take care of business. Then we've got, I'm just going to get it out the way, LSU Ole Miss. Garrett Nussmeier at quarterback, looking a little bit better. Southeastern game, started to get the offense rolling. Tradez is going to be back, our boy. Wide receivers looking good. No issues there. Braylon Moore's back, playing healthy. We are down, I don't want to get the name wrong. I think it's DJ Chester. It's one of our interior linemen I think we're going to be down. Or maybe he's good to go. I don't know. Peyton sent something and I forget. Relaford is who we're missing on defense. That's right. But yeah, I think we're going to be fine. It's kind of crazy that we're a dog. We're playing such good defense that, even if Ole Miss is pretty good offensively like they're always going to be, they do have the Ferris State quarterback that it looks like they're going to be rolling with. Chambliss, I believe is his name. This defense is playing so well. The secondary is incredible. Perk looks awesome. Whitweeks is banging Kiffin's daughter. The D-line's just getting pressure for once. Like, everything is set up for this team to go in and get a statement win in Oxford. And I really think we can get that. But yes, obviously with an Ole Miss team, you got to watch for the passing attack. And I don't think an LSU team has been more equipped to stop the pass, God, in how long. I would say that right now our secondary is better than 2019. Like, yes, we had Stingley as a freshman, but besides that, it wasn't incredibly talented. Delpit was good. This is probably the best secondary we've had since probably them Pat Pete, Mo Claiborne, Tyron, Jalen Mills, all them random safeties that came through. Like, probably those days. Eric Reed, probably 2011. I would say this is the best secondary we've had since then, which is a crazy thing to say for DBU, but it's just that talented right now. It really is. And then you've got Perkins and Witt, who, whenever it's a big game, we saw it against Clemson, they rise to another level. And as long as you've got the offense that can support it on the other side, Ole Miss played a pretty good defense this past week against Tulane. Yes, it's Tulane, but Tulane's a pretty talented team. But from what I have watched of Ole Miss, I feel like they are more equipped to stop the run, which isn't really a big deal with us because we can't really run the ball much anyways. Jawan Johnson looking pretty good. Caden Durham looking good. He's consistent. Whenever a big game happens, he's going to show up. That's what Peyton was saying the other day. You trust Durham more than anybody right now. But at the end of the day, I don't think we're not going to win or lose depending on how much we run the ball. It's going to be what Garrett Nussmeier can do, and I truly believe that he can win. And yet again, I don't see why we're a dog. I think Ole Miss is a good team. I don't think Ole Miss is incredible. Last year, yes, different team. Trey Harris, Jackson Dart, they were loaded. This year, I just don't see it. And I don't see the Ferris State quarterback who, yes, he played pretty well against Arkansas. Yes, he played well against Tulane. This is LSU. Like, we're another level. I don't see a way that we go in here and lose. Yes, it absolutely can happen if Nuss goes, gunslinger mode and throws a couple picks like he's bound to do. But I really feel like LSU gets this win, and this season, I've just got that gut feeling that we're going to have one of them years. I really do. Now, is it going to lead to a championship? I don't know. But I don't see the bus stopping right now or slowing down at all. It ain't running out of gas. It's going to keep rolling, and I think the Tigers get it done. I really, really do. Let's look at some other games on Saturday, though. You got USC at Illinois at 11 a.m. Illinois, I bet that Brett Bielema is going with the good old let's go 1-0 approach after last week because, my God, Indiana destroyed that football team. Indiana's back. I believe in Indiana so much. Last year I was all in on them, but it didn't give me the best of endings with the Notre Dame game in the playoffs, and obviously the Ohio State game wasn't very pretty either, but I think this year that team plays different. Like, yes, last year's team was good, but quarterback-wise, it was just a basic college quarterback. This year, you've got a real talented, NFL caliber quarterback with Fernando Mendoza, and I think he's going to just continue to roll and very likely be in the Heisman talks at the end of the year. But not only that, their weapons are great. Receivers, they have real playmakers. And then their defense looks so good. It's insane to me. It is so good. Like, the defensive front completely dominated an Illinois team that is known for being physical and known for playing dirty. And Indiana just went in and punched them in the mouth and made them completely change the way of style that they had to play. And it was beautiful to see. Bloomington was rocking. I'm all in on them Hoosiers again. I really am. But going back to USC Illinois, yes, they're still talented. They'll very likely bounce back. A game in Champaign against USC, conference game. The weirdest thing I've ever said in my life, USC Illinois conference game, big noon kickoff. Yeah, it is just, it's crazy to think of these two teams playing a top 25 matchup and Illinois almost being the more hyped up team. USC's kind of flying under the radar, landing at 21 this week. They do have the quarterback, Jaden Mayava, who playing very well. They got some real weapons. That offense kind of looks like it's clicking for Lincoln Riley, which is the first time we can say that since, sophomore year Caleb Williams or whatever. But even then, I don't know. It kind of feels different this year. Now, I'm not saying USC's going to win a bunch of games and go to the playoff. Probably not. But USC's got a real offense. Defensively, I think it's still spotty. But that'll be tested this week against a good quarterback in Luke Altmaier. So that's a very fun game to open up your college football Saturday. And then you've also got Notre Dame, Arkansas. Notre Dame finally got a win. They played Purdue, so of course they won. But this one on the road in Fayetteville against an Arkansas team that lost a heartbreaker to Memphis last week. Memphis very randomly is on a 5-game winning streak at home against SEC teams, dating back 10 years. Incredible stat there. But yeah, I think Arkansas, Taylor Green, very talented quarterback. At home against Notre Dame, this is a very, very real spot for Notre Dame to kind of come in and sleepwalk, and then Arkansas just to punch them in the mouth and win. 3.5 point line right here for Notre Dame. it's hard not to say that Notre Dame's going to win, but I could see Arkansas being the person or being the team that can hand Notre Dame this third loss. Jeremiah Love, very, very, very good, obviously. The quarterback, Carr, playing well. I think he's kind of getting overhated. Like, they're putting all the blames onto him. I don't think that's fair to say. He's, against Miami, didn't play terrible. Against A&M, I mean, you put up, 41 points. Jeremiah Love, obviously, playing incredible. They also got another running back that's playing very well. But that defense just doesn't feel like what Notre Dame is accustomed to and what Notre Dame typically has and typically needs to succeed. So that's where my biggest concerns are against an SEC type of offense. Yes, it's Arkansas. They're on the definite lower half of the SEC in terms of the talent that they bring in. But, I mean, Taylor Green, dual threat quarterback that if he puts up 35 points on Notre Dame this weekend, I wouldn't be shocked at all. So, very, very fun game to see. 64.5 over under. That's insane. That's a lot of points. That's more than Arizona State TCU. But, yeah, we'll see what happens there. I'm going to go with, I really think Arkansas is pulling off the upset. I'm going to say it. So, that's probably a nice little plus 200 money line or something along those lines. But, yeah, go Razorbacks. See if Sam Pittman can save his job after losing it, or what you would think would have been losing it after losing to Memphis last week. So, moving on to, let's scroll through. Some interesting little under-the-radar games. Rutgers, Minnesota. Duke, Syracuse could be a fun one right there. Shout out Ricky Collins getting the start for Syracuse going forward after Angeli tore his Achilles. Louisville, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Kansas. All of these are some interesting games. Who else do we have? Vanderbilt up to number 18 in the rankings, kicking off at 11:45 at home against Utah State. Interesting game there. But I'm assuming Vandy's going to keep it rolling. Yes, here we go. 2:30 when the real stuff starts. You got Ohio State at Washington. Sneaky game right here. The line is down to 8.5. Going to Washington, which I might have read the stat wrong, but I think they have not lost a home game since like 4 years, 3 years at Washington. It's something crazy like that. So definitely not an easy spot for Ohio State to walk into and play. And an Ohio State team that, yes, they had the Texas game where both teams didn't look incredible. But besides that, haven't really been tested. Played Grambling and then played, who was it? Ohio, which neither of those games obviously tested them. Ohio kind of did stick around for a little bit, but at the end of the day, Ohio State was going to win that game. And this is their first real test since Texas. And Washington's not something you can just really look over. They've got a good quarterback with DeMond Williams, playing very well so far this year. 6 touchdowns, 800 yards. I think he's been running some too. Yeah, 220 on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Jonah Coleman, running back who used to be at Arizona a couple years ago, and they were very good. Denzel Boston at wide receiver, very good receiver. Like they've got some talent. They really do. Would not surprise me if Washington keeps this close, or a lot closer than people think, at least. And yeah, but I do think Ohio State would. I mean, it's hard not to say that they're going to win. They're the number 1 team in the country, but this is a fun game that I think kind of is flying under the radar. Auburn A&M, 2:30 kickoff as well at ESPN. At A&M, Auburn coming off a tough loss against Oklahoma, going into Kyle Field, never an easy place to play. 6.5 point line for A&M to win. A&M coming off a bye week, I'm assuming, after playing Notre Dame. Very, very good game. Obviously, I'm rooting a little bit for Auburn with Xavier out there playing linebacker for them. But at the end of the day, A&M looks different this year. The defense is kind of suspect, but that offense seems like they have real playmakers Marcel Reed, I'm starting to buy into. The receivers look incredible. Mario Craver, I'm already looking forward to him being in the NFL. Running back, I mean, they're running the ball well, throwing it crazy. Like, it seems like a real talented offense, and that's not something that I'm used to saying about A&M, really. It's more so, oh, they got the defense, but the offense doesn't really come along. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be an A&M game. I mean, A&M winning this game against Auburn. Jackson Arnold looked kind of rough against Oklahoma, but that's not an easy place to play, and Kyle Field will not be easy either. Indiana, already talked enough about them. Only a 7.5-point favorite this week going into Kinnick Stadium at Iowa. Never an easy place to play yet again. Some incredible freaking environments right there at 2:30 between Washington, A&M, and Iowa. But Indiana, I've already talked about them enough. Iowa, screw them. I'm not talking about them. Hoosiers going to keep rolling. Let's see. Baylor plays Oklahoma State. RIP Mike Gundy. Who else do we have? Nothing else really until 3:15. Tennessee, Mississippi State. Mississippi State, real first test after that Arizona State win where they kind of got things, I mean, having the best win since freaking Dak was quarterback, I guess. Hosting Tennessee, so you get another game at Starkville. Cowbell's going to be going crazy. I don't know. Tennessee's impressing me so far this year. Joey Aguilar playing pretty well. That Georgia game they should have won, but they did not. I'm excited to see Mississippi State with the expectations of, like, this might be a team that can kind of turn things around for this program, and this might be the one that can rattle off 8-9 wins, something like that. It'll be fun to see. They're 4-0 right now. 7.5-point dog at home. That's a big number at Starkville for that home team. So I think Mississippi State keeps it close, but it's obviously hard to pick an upset like that. But definitely a game that I'm looking forward to watching. Let's see. Iowa State hosting Arizona. Iowa State playing really, really good. They did sneak by the Iowa game, but Rocco Beck at quarterback, very talented. I think they're going to keep it rolling. Let's see. Yeah, nothing until 6:30 when you got probably the two biggest games of the weekend. LSU's probably a little bit bigger than Alabama, Georgia. But obviously when those two teams play, it's an incredible atmosphere. So much NFL talent all over the field, even in the DeBoer era. That's going to be a loaded Alabama team that has a lot of people go to the NFL. Georgia, statement win against Tennessee, and let's see what they want to do at home now, seeking revenge from that Ryan Williams catch and gamer last year against Alabama. But it is at Georgia. Alabama on the road, first big test since the Florida State game. So definitely trying to get back on track. Ty Simpson's playing a lot better. Yes, they haven't really played anyone, but you're starting to see, why he was the, 5-star. He's one of the top 3 quarterbacks in his class or something like that. He definitely has the talent that can be an Alabama quarterback, which, hasn't really been much to say, but he's definitely a talented kid. Ron Williams starting to get back into things as well. Had a rough opening game against Florida State's physical defense. Running game looking well. Defense, it'll be a real test against the Georgia offense that has some firepower. Gunnar Stockton at quarterback, in my opinion, a better fit for that team than Carson Beck was. Beck just, I don't know. He lost the fan base, and that's a death sentence in the SEC. Now, I love to see him thriving down there in Miami, but once your fan base is kind of out on you, then it's over for you. But it'll be fun to see Stockton in another big game like this to see if he really does have it this year. Number 5 ranked to Georgia as well. So 3.5-point favorite. I find it hard to believe that Georgia loses this game. I really do. And then the game of the weekend. Penn State at home, 6:30 kickoff against Oregon, number 6 in the country versus number 3. Wide out for Penn State, 3.5-point favorites here. I mean, this is as good as it gets. It really is. The Penn State, not the best of starts to the season. You had the sleepwalk against FIU, Villanova. They kind of woke up, but still, they really haven't been tested at all. Nevada, FIU, and Villanova, not the toughest of schedules, with a loaded roster that Penn State does have this year. So it's going to be fun to see this team. Rematch of the conference championship. Yes, that's what it was. Penn State, Oregon last year in the conference championship. It's going to be fun to see, though. Drew Allar, you got Singleton, Katron Allen. Looks like you got a couple receivers as well that are actually performing. You got the transfer from USC. You also got some tight ends. It's tight end U up there right now, it seems like. And a defense that is loaded and ready to play some football versus an Oregon team that Dante Moore, man, I'm starting to see a lot of hype for him. Some real talk of him being like arguably the number 1 quarterback in this draft class. Like, he's playing that well. And this is a moment for him to have his Heisman moment. Like, going into Penn State, whiteout game, 100,000 people, not an easy environment to play in. Can Dante Moore go and get it done? I'm personally going to say no. I root for Penn State for some unknown reason. I just always tend to want them to do good. But it's going to be an incredible game. If it's ever above a 14-point lead, I would be shocked. Like, it just feels like it's going to be one of those close games that the crowd is just into it the entire time, and I think that is going to be a factor at the end of the game of them pulling it out. Is just that home environment. It's going to be awesome. And it's a night game, thank God. Penn State doesn't get enough of them. So it's going to be awesome to see. Can't wait for this game. Really going to be like a moment where you got to just, that's going to be my big screen. Alabama and Georgia, they can go to the small screen. This is going to be the big screen game. You got to tune in, sit down. It's going to be cinema. That's how you got to describe it. Anything else? That's pretty much it. But it's a loaded slate, man. It really is. A lot of good college football games. I'm hoping to see Penn State pull it out. Hope to see my Hoosiers keep rolling, and obviously, as always, need them Tigers to keep it going as well. But let me move on over to the NFL. Run through this real quick, and then I'm going to end this thing. So you got the NFL opening up Thursday night with a doozy of a game right here. Seahawks 2-1 versus Cardinals 2-1. Cardinals are without James Conner, going up against the Seahawks team that dismantled the Saints last week. It was over before it even started. But this could be a sneaky good game. It really could. That NFC West is they're all right there with each other. I think they're all 2-1. Or no, the Niners might be 3-0. Yes, the Niners are 3-0. Every other team is 2-1. But yeah, this could be a good game. It really could. Kyler Murray not having the best of starts to the year. Not really losing the team the game, but definitely not taking that step that people have been waiting on forever. I think he just kind of is who he is at this point. Playing with Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride. Trey McBride's still having a pretty good year, but Marvin Harrison, it's been a struggle. And this past weekend wasn't any different. You have the Seahawks, Sam Darnold, obviously. Who knows what his career is, but he's not playing bad. Jackson Smith and Jigba, though, if you just throw him the ball, he's going to make good stuff happen for you. Kenneth Walker as well, having a good season. And, it's a good game all around. That Seahawks defense feels like it's kind of getting back to its physical ways, and kind of getting back to that identity of the team, which you always expected with Mike McDonald being the head coach for them. Coming from the Ravens and being the defensive coordinator for the Ravens, you knew that he had that in him. So to see that versus a Jonathan Gannon defense, which has also been playing pretty well, being the former defensive coordinator of the Eagles. So two teams that are at their core being built by defensive coaches. This could be it might not be a high-scoring game, but I think it could be a good football game overall. But I do see the Seahawks winning. Then Sunday, you've got our beloved Who-Dats. Right whenever I started to think, maybe this team ain't that bad. Rattler playing, pretty well. Defense looks solid. Weapons, kind of utilizing them the way that we need to. Maybe not using Kamara enough, but everything else looks solid. Juwan Johnson, good at football now, yeah. 44-13 loss. How about that? So not what you wanted to see at all from the Saints, or it actually is everything we wanted to see. We want them to lose. So continue to do this, but I would like for the losses to be more on par with the first two of the year, where you played pretty well, you kept it close. You're kind of thinking, this team kind of has an identity, kind of looks like it can be competitive, and then right at the end, they blow it, and that's what you kind of want from this team. You want them to play well, and then lose, because we want losses this year. But whenever it's a game like the Seahawks and you just are losing by 14 immediately, that don't really do anything good for your team. So hopefully we get back onto the par with maybe keeping it close this week against the Bills, but I think a historic 16.5 point line right now. It's going to be all Bills. It is, and it's at Orchard Park, so it's gonna be a crazy environment, like it always is up there in Buffalo, for a team that is the Super Bowl favorites right now. So if the Saints lose by 14 points, it would be a miracle. But who knows, man? Who really cares? But the Bills are awesome. Everybody knows what they are. Josh Allen, a defense that is playing better and better. Not the best of games against the Dolphins, but divisional game that it's weird. You can't really think too much about them. Just go Bills. I mean, I think a lot of people down here are rooting for the Bills and Josh Allen. They're very fun to watch. So kill these Saints, kill our hopes, keep us 0-4. Let's do it. Lions and Browns, also at 12 o'clock on Sunday. Lions coming off an incredible win against the Ravens. That offense doing those things that you saw Ben Johnson do, and it's nice to see them continue to do those things. I mean, you know what the Lions are at this point. You got Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jameson Williams here and there. Not enough for my fantasy needs. Sam Laporta, and a defense that is starting to get its swagger back. Looks like Aiden Hutchinson's pretty good at football. Might be a bold take, but he knocked the ball out of Derrick Henry's hands, which it seems like anybody can do at this point. But that defense it's starting to play well. Anzalone, Brian Branch, playing a very physical brand of football like that. I think they had 7 sacks this past Monday night against the Ravens, which is, I think either Chance or Ty said they're like that. That feels like that might be a record against Lamar. So we'll see if our Lions can keep it rolling. We're definitely rooting on for them against the Browns, who took down the Packers this past weekend. The Browns are getting back to that identity that they had 2 or 3 years ago, where their physical defense is just carrying the team. You've got a pretty solid run game. Quinshon Judkins looked really, really, really good last week. He definitely, that rookie class it's special between Judkins, Carson Schwessinger, the middle linebacker. Mason Graham is doing pass rush win rates that no one ever does at D-tackle. You've got Isaiah Bond, who eventually is going to come along. You've got Dylan Gabriel, Shadur Sanders. Who else you got? Harold Fannin, the tight end, my guy from Bowling Green. Love him. That team, it feels like they have the identity that they're starting to to build. It's just they got to find that quarterback, which has been the statement for years until they drafted Baker and then let him walk out the door. But I don't think Joe Flacco's the answer for much longer. I would probably start to see what the rookies are like in another week or two. Because, I mean, even if Flacco plays the entire season, what are you hoping for? 5 or 6 wins, if that? Like, at that point, you just wasted a year of let me see what these guys can be. And yes, it's not the best of situations for Gabriel or Shedeur, but you got to throw the guys out there and let them see what they can do. See if they can make some magic happen. So, but I think the Lions take care of this one. 8.5-point favorites this week. Browns probably riding off the high and might be a little overrated, to be honest. It's just the Packers just played a stinker. You got a Dublin game. Dublin, Ireland, Vikings, Steelers. Is there a Viking Ireland connection? No. Where are the Vikings at? Norway? I don't know. That's probably, if you're listening, you're probably thinking I'm an idiot because I don't know where Vikings are from, but that's not my expertise. Yeah, anyways, Vikings, Steelers. Who cares about these teams, really? Vikings defense is awesome. Brian Flores, what else can you say? Let the man be a head coach. That defense played incredible against the Bengals this past week. Isaiah Rodgers had a game that majority of the people in the NFL will never even sniff. I mean, he was everywhere. I think I even saw that Pro Football Focus gave him the first perfect score ever. Like, it was a 99.9. Like, he is just that dude. He had a forced fumble, recovery, and touchdown. He had a pick six touchdown. He had numerous tackles. Like, he was everywhere. It was crazy. So very, very cool to see that. That defense is definitely starting to play the way that we know that they can. And then on offense, you had Carson Wentz. Maybe he's back. Led a good drive at the beginning of the game, and then after that kind of fizzled out. But Jordan Mason running the ball well, had over 100 yards this past week. And yeah, I mean, I don't think the Vikings are anything that they were last year necessarily, but they're going to be a hard team to beat on a given week. And the Steelers snuck out with a win against the Patriots last week, but I don't think anyone is really impressed with this team. I would lean towards the Vikings getting a win this week. They are a 2.5-point favorite in Ireland. 8:30 a.m. I think people overhate the international games. It's a nice little treat to watch it. Your Sunday mornings, kind of get something to, get your fantasy, break the ice for that morning. Don't make it to where you have to stress out and sweat out the entire 12 o'clock slate. You can see if some of your guys perform at 8:30 a.m. But yeah, it's a nice little opener to the week. Other games we got Commanders, Falcons. I don't know if JD's back. I would lean toward him not playing. Terry McLaurin though probably is out. Mariota looked pretty fine last week though. That offense is not the hardest things to run. Cliff Kingsbury makes it very easy for the team. Wish they would feed the ball to Bill a little bit more, but hey, whatever works. They took care of the Raiders last week. Falcons, on the other hand, 30-0 loss to the Panthers. Not many teams can say that or probably have ever said that. Then they fired a receivers coach because, yeah, that's what was holding back the team. 1.5-point underdogs at home against the Commanders. I don't really know if this is a bounce back for the Falcons. It's been a very weird season. They should have and could have won the game against the Bucs, and then they go and have a 15-9 kicking shootout against the Vikings on Sunday Night Football, and then you get destroyed by the Panthers. Like, what a weird season. So if you want to keep that pattern going, they probably win this game by 20. But I don't really know if you can predict that. But but I do like the Falcons in a bounce back spot this week. So give me the Falcons, especially if Mariota's playing. Panthers-Patriots. Panthers coming off that big win I just mentioned. Bryce Young not playing terribly. Had a rough start to that Cardinals game week 2, but besides that, I think he's been okay. You definitely saw some progression from him last year, but definitely I don't think he's at the level of play that he was at the end of last year, but he's starting to get back to that. Tet definitely seems like a hit already at receiver. I think you just got to give it time with that offense. I don't know if Bryce is ever going to be your guy, but I think you can also surround him with enough talent to make it to where he is a serviceable guy, and that organization can eventually get back to, I guess, 500 football or close to it, something along those lines. Patriots, not the best of starts to the season either. I was very high on them. Loaded up on defense this offseason. I thought Drake May was going to take the step. Travion Henderson, receiving room that is kind of underrated. It's not really been what I thought. 5.5-point favorites at home this week, though, against the Panthers. I want to say that the Patriots are going to get it rolling, but I kind of like the Panthers here, plus 5.5, if not outright. I think the Panthers are just playing a little bit better football right now. Chargers-Giants. You got Justin Herbert versus not Russell Wilson. It is going to be Jackson Dart taking the starts for the Giants. And you've also got the other rookie at running back, Scatabo, who officially will be starting with Tyrone Tracy going down with a dislocated shoulder. Chargers, though, 3-0 on the other hand, playing as good a football as anybody in the NFL. They look like they are officially taking that step that we knew they were going to take under Jim Harbaugh. And it's scary for the NFL. Justin Herbert's looking like a gunslinger, and they're letting him throw the ball. They're not playing the Greg Roman-style offense that you would expect. And I think that's going to continue to be the case a little bit more now that Najee Harris tears his Achilles. So we'll see if the Chargers can keep that magic going. That defense is also very, very good. Derwin James everywhere on the field. A lot of guys that, not the biggest of names, but like a Darian Henley who's just stepping up at linebacker and just making awesome plays every week. And then the Giants, it's 3-0 versus 0-3. So you know how this is going. Only a 6.5-point line right here, though, for the Giants. No, 6.5 points favorite for the Chargers at the Giants. How do you not bet the Chargers to cover this one? But it would be cool to see if the Giants can have some good energy coming out of the Jackson Dart experience. So we shall see. We got a 3-0 matchup right here. Eagles-Bucks at Tampa. Bucks are going to be down a couple guys. That O-line definitely taking hit after hit after hit. Down 3 starters, I think, already now. And Mike Evans is also going to be down for probably 3 or 4 weeks. You might get Chris Godwin back this week, and you might get Tristan Wirfs, so that will definitely help, make the injury bug not hurt as bad. But as long as you've got Baker, in my opinion, you've got a chance to win. You got Ibuka, who's playing incredible football. Bucky hasn't really gotten it going to the level that most people think he can get to, but he's going to get there, obviously. We know the talent that he is. And, even Sterling Shepard, still playing football good in 2025. Who would have thought it? The defense, not playing bad at all. They're making a cool little move, signing which I think they either drafted him or undrafted free agent, Desmond Watson, the big man, 450-pounder out of Florida. They are assigning him to the practice squad and very likely going to elevate him and kind of make him their tush-push stopper. Between him and Vita Vea down there at D-tackle, that's going to be a heck of a duo to push through. So that'd be fun to see. Eagles, on the other hand, were down, 26-7 to the Rams, and then they just come back and win it. It's kind of like the Chiefs were 2 or 3 years ago, where it's not even fun to talk about anymore. It's just they're going to win. They just continue to do it. And this week, 3.5-point favorites, and in Tampa, I mean, I really don't know how you can bet against them. They're going to continue to roll. They just are. They're just better roster, better football overall. They really are. Titans Texans. I don't want to talk about that game. Both teams suck. Colts Rams. Shockingly interesting game here. 3-0 Colts, just playing lights out offense. Defense, it's playing pretty well as well. Versus a Rams team that should be 3-0 in my opinion. They should have beat the Eagles, but like I just said, we know how that rolls. But this could be a fun game. 3 o'clock in LA. Rams are a 3.5-point favorite. How long does the magic of Danny Dimes continue? I don't know. I could see it continuing for a little bit longer though. Shane Steichen's just that good of a quarterback coach and that good of an offensive coordinator. And as long as Jonathan Taylor is on the field, I think the Colts can be special for some reason. It doesn't make sense at all, but they've got that feel. They really do. So give me the Colts here plus 3.5. Jaguars Niners. Again, Jaguars are just an ugly team that are somehow 2-1. Don't want to talk about them. I do not care. Just get Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter involved somehow, please. Then the Niners 3-0, even though they just continue to lose players. Joey Bosa. Nope, wrong one. Nick Bosa. Tearing his ACL for the second time in his career. And Mac Jones might be back this... Nope, not Mac Jones. The other guy. The expensive Mac Jones. Brock Purdy might be back this week. McCaffrey's still somehow healthy. It's crazy that he's like the only healthy person on this team. But yeah, I think the Niners are just going to dismantle the Jags this week. I really do. The Jags are a dysfunctional football team that I guess the best thing about them right now is that their defense is playing solid, but 2.5-point favorites. Give me the Niners all freaking day. Ravens Chiefs 325. Someone is leaving this game 1-3 on the season, and I don't think anyone would have expected that out of these two squads. But the game is at Arrowhead. It kind of felt like the Chiefs were getting their swagger back on Sunday night. That offense started to click in the second half. You should be getting Xavier Worthy back. Rashee Rice still out for 3 more games, but adding Worthy to this team can change things. And if they continue to pass the ball like it looks like they wanted to, then I think they can get back to the way that the Chiefs are, or the Chiefs were. And that defense is still going to be good under Spags as well. And the Ravens should have beat the Bills. No reason that they should have lost that game week 1. Destroyed the Browns, and then played a Lions team that was pissed off and just ready to make a statement. And now they're sitting here at 1-2 at Arrowhead. Like, not the spot that you want to be in. And also, I mean, if you're Lamar Jackson and you lose to the Bills, the Lions, and the Chiefs in your first 4 weeks, then there's going to be a lot of doubts. There is. So I would take the motivated Lamar Jackson here to come into Arrowhead and make a statement. 2.5-point favorites, Baltimore is. That's got to be a rarity in Arrowhead. But yeah, I think this Ravens team, especially Derrick Henry, who not the best of the past 2 games. Game 1, obviously, he crushed it, near 200 yards on the ground. But the fumbles, I think he zones in on that, makes sure that that's not going to be an issue anymore, and then he gets rocking and rolling and plays pissed off, and I think the Ravens take care of the Chiefs. Bears-Raiders. Bears might be back. How about that? Played the Cowboys, so of course it looked like their offense is good, but the way that Caleb Williams is playing this year definitely feels different than last year. Seems like he's more confident. Seems like he's reading the field better. Overall, I mean, the connection with Rome Odunze is incredible. DJ Moore starting to get back into the swing of things. You even saw Loveland getting involved. Luther Burden coming out of nowhere this last week as well. The defense is the issue there, but only Cowboys didn't score a ton of points. Not like everybody thought they would. So maybe they're not that bad, but still, I think the Bears can keep it rolling here. The Raiders just look like we thought that the Raiders would, to be honest. Genty's not really doing much. Yes, I don't think he's really the issue. It's more so an offensive scheme plus the offensive line that he has, he doesn't really have the chance to succeed. So I'm gonna continue to think that the Bears are gonna get it rolling right here. Then you got Sunday night, Packers Cowboys. Like I mentioned earlier, Micah Parsons going into Jerry's World, pissed off at the world. I mean, there's really no other storyline to even talk about in this game. Like, that is the storyline. Micah Parsons will be shown on the camera more than Taylor Swift. It's going to be crazy. And I think everybody in the world's going to expect him to have at least one sack. It's going to be fun to watch, though. I mean, two of the biggest brands in football. CeeDee Lamb is out for probably 4 to 5 weeks with his ankle injury. So we'll see if Georgie can keep it going at receiver. He's had a decent start to the year. I mean, it feels like it's going to be all Packers in this game. But right whenever you think that, that's when the Cowboys are going to show up and shock everybody. So we'll see. 6.5-point favorites. I think Green Bay can cover that. Monday night, doubleheader, Jets-Dolphins. It's 2 0-3 football teams. That's the true testament of, are you a football fan and how much do you love football? If you bet and watch on that game. Jets 0-3, Tyrod Taylor starting for another week, I think. Didn't play terrible last week. Honestly, should have beat the Bucs, but I'm sure you all saw that ending. And then the Dolphins played pretty well against the Bills after a brutal first 2 weeks. And somebody's got to win this game, I think. It could be a tie, but 0-3 versus 0-3. Hopefully someone gets their first W of the year. But it would be pretty crazy if someone didn't. But give me the Dolphins. And then Bengals-Broncos to cap off the weekend. 7:15 kickoff at Mile High Stadium. Broncos 7.5-point favorites. Jake Browning definitely took a step back this past week, while also Bo Nix has taken a step back this entire season. Been a rough start. And that defense still playing pretty well, trying to keep him in things, but Bo just doesn't really get it done when he needs to. So somebody, similar to the Dolphins-Jets, somebody's got to win. In this game, somebody's got to win. I think the Broncos, this is a good spot for them to have a get-right game. But at the same time, yes, it's Jake Browning, but it's hard to bet against a Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown team. It really is, because you never know when Jamar's just going to have one of them games. Is it going to happen against Pat Surtain? Probably not. But at the end of the day, give me the Broncos in this game. 7.5 is a lot. I wouldn't take that, but I do think they end up winning the ball game. So, all right, under an hour, exactly what I wanted. A couple stops here and there because people are in the hallway hearing me probably. These walls feel thin. But yeah, go Tigers. Let's freaking get it going. Let's have a great weekend. Go USA as well. Let's win that Ryder Cup, baby. All right, that is it for this one.
This ain't how it's supposed to be. It should be just you and me.